All right, breaking news this afternoon. The President Goodluck Jonathan is safe, sound, and out of Guinea-Bissau. News that everybody wants to hear. We reported it this morning that he's still in Guinea-Bissau. The coup has taken place. The military has taken over. But what we are hearing now is out of Guinea-Bissau. Philip.
Yeah, we were worried in the morning when we heard that our former president was trapped at, it was at the center of the whole thing at Guinea-Bissau when the military toppled the government due to, disagreement from the election that took place on Sunday. This afternoon from the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, we were told that former president is safe, is out of the turmoil, though where his whereabouts is not mentioned for security reasons, but the good news is that Goodluck is out of the trouble area and is safe and sound.
Okafor, there are no much internal wrangling inside Guinea-Bissau. The president is not resisting. We've not heard of any fight of any sort. From what we heard, it was the president himself that called AFP, a news media of France, and told them that he's been deposed. But everything, I think the military has taken control of everything. And Goodluck Jonathan, I'm sure with other elders of African elders that monitor the election, I'm sure they're all safe and sound now.
Yeah, Goodluck being out and safe, signals that other ones, are also safe. Certainly, the military has taken over. We don't know what next. The president calling the foreign counterparts. We don't know whether he was asked to call them. Of course, that's the usual way. They want you to announce. That's definitely. They want you to announce that you have been deposed, so they don't want to hear it from another person.
Authenticity.
So it authenticates it, saying no, I've resigned or I'm no longer the president. So they don't need to go about doing that job anymore. It doesn't show maybe he did it voluntarily or not. Certainly not. So what is important here is that Jonathan raised his voice even from the beginning that unconstitutional change of power is what he does not support. Jonathan himself epitomizes democracy because the hallmark of democracy is to lose election, not actually to win. Your level of your sportsmanship and what you're ready to trade in, dealing with loss is not easy. Jonathan has dealt with it. So there was nothing that could have come out of Guinea-Bissau election that Jonathan hasn't seen before. He has won election, he has lost election. In that election, the former president now, Embaro Omar, who had claimed he scored 65% of the vote, could lose election and go home like Jonathan, who never went for second tenure. The heaven would not fall. Then the new person, Fernando Diaz, if he had lost election, he wouldn't be the first person that is losing election, allowing the incumbent to continue. So why they went into rigging and to the point that the military had to come in is what Africans, in this case, need. I'm not saying it's only in Africa that such happen, but in this case, in West Africa, we need to take that very seriously. Do we want democracy or not? There must be a loser and there must be a winner. And as a sitting president, you can lose the election. As a matter of fact, if you are a sitting president and you lose the election, you decided to throw the nation into turmoil for losing the election, you are the most and probably the worst unpatriotic citizen that country would ever have, because you have been given opportunity for first tenure to answer president, to be president among millions,
and that's for life.
Even the smallest of country of Guinea-Bissau, about 2 million people, you have been chosen to be number one
amongst 2 million.
Amongst 2 million persons. That's good enough, even though it's for 1 month and you did it for 1 tenure. There is nothing that what an incumbent throwing the country into turmoil because you want to rig the election and perpetuate yourself in power. Whatever they need to do to that embargo, let them do it, and it's justified because you have answered being a president. You understand? There's nothing. All you owe that country is a transparent election. If you win, sure, you continue your second tenure. If you lose, you go home where you came from, and other people will try their own again. That's all. But this is not to say that the opposition are always the one winning. There's possibilities that the opposition have put themselves together to ferment the trouble. But one thing we don't know, because the election result was to be announced today.
Yes.
In less than 24 hours to the announcement of the election result, the military struck. Will the military now allow the result to be announced, or it will be suspended? We don't know.
The president is not the electoral body. Am I correct?
Certainly.
There is an umpire, which is the electoral body. But the president has come out and said he has won 65%.
Yes.
Now, this is to say, because he's a president in African countries where before the result comes out, either the opposition or the ruling party say we are winning or we have won without the umpire not announcing the result of the election. How can we stop this?
I will tell you why it is so. From the beginning, the umpire had not put himself in such a position where the people will trust the umpire. The umpire, in most cases, like we witness in this country, they lack transparency. The umpire will tell you they will do A and they will go and do D, not even BC. Here in this country, we're told that result will be read time in 2023. What do we have? The result of the National Assembly was transmitted and that of the president was Buhaha. So if the Cameroon recently, the election the result dragged for weeks. So the opposition was forced to announce itself as a winner. That what you just witnessed in Guinea-Bissau. The result is yet to be announced. The president is saying that he has had 65% of the vote cast. How did he get the result? Because the umpire is being picked by him. They report to him. They give him the result, or the result is written by him and give to the umpire to announce. So he has already seen the result. What the umpire will announce first. So when the opposition know that, you see, it is not everybody that are Nigerians that are docile. When they feel that they are being shortchanged and their rights is being taken away from them, they have to be violent, and that's what has happened. And the military that struck, they discover drug logs, trying to use drug money. Guinea-Bissau is a very sensitive country. It's a small country, but it's a hub of drugs.
It has a waterway.
Exactly. That they were trying to use trouble to smuggle arms into the country to perpetuate trouble. So to foresaw that, to safeguard the lives of the people of Guinea-Bissau, they had to step in, and that is why they did it very peacefully. They just gave the president whatever it is, call your counterpart, whoever that you are responsible, tell the world that you have been disposed. And they went further because you asked a question, with the umpire announce the result, every electoral process has been seized. The constitution has been suspended. It is now full-fledged military rule.
Now, we've seen in the United Kingdom, we've seen people lose elections so much, as in the ruling party, whether it's conservative, whether it's Labour, they lose election. It's a normal thing to lose election. And one of the reasons they lose election is when their policies become unpopular. We see George Bush lose election. He was a one-tenor president before Clinton came and took over. Why is it an issue with African leaders losing an election?
When McCain lost election,
yes,
McCain said something. As some of Obama was telling Americans that I won a very good man.
Yes.
McCain said something that Obama's policy resonated with Americans more. And that was it. And that's the message. If you're not ready to lose election, don't contest election. I think the earlier we'll start letting everybody know, no matter how highly placed you are, if you're not ready to lose an election, even as an incumbent president, if you're not ready to lose an election, you're already a president. They said it's better to quit when the ovation is loudest. Don't contest any election you are not ready to lose. This evocation of drug lords trying to bring in weapons to disturb the constitutional order was what the military put forward to justify their own distortion of the constitutional order. We would never support distortion of constitutional order because the military were always there during the build-up. They were always there during the build-up, and they will refuse to arrest this. When it now gets out of hand, they will suddenly turn to who they were respecting. At what point did they disrespect the commander-in-chief, who is a civilian president?
You see,
who they have been helping. For example, in the case of Nigeria, I used to tell them, I see them deploy military to do off-cycle election in Edo and all those places. Those are not the jobs of the military. You don't go. You have no business going for electioneering. You have no business doing that. Go to Cameroon. You see them. The man there wants to remain there. For what? If you're not ready to lose an election, don't contest for that election.
You see, when you said at what point, the military, I'm glad you mentioned the commander-in-chief. The commander-in-chief, you see, when you have a situation where institution works, the military is an institution.
Yes.
The commander-in-chief gives orders and they obey. But when it gets to a point that they find that this order they are being received is going to be detriment to the country, because their loyalty is first to the country and to the commander-in-chief. At that point, the military reserve the right to disobey the commander-in-chief, and that's what has happened there.
In fact, let me tell you what they don't actually outrightly disobey the commander-in-chief.
At all.
What they do is that they take their powers from the constitution.
So let me tell you that power from constitution has always been there. I don't like military rule, because you deny the people. That's what I'm saying. You deny the people the opportunity to choose their leader. Being part of a constitutional order, where the people choose their leader, still remain one of the best kind of governance. You understand? So people should understand, when you choose democracy, you should allow people to choose their leader.
I beg to differ. When the people who are in power make it impossible for the people to choose their leader, then it is inevitable will happen. What they are saying is that we have a constitution, because the man who is oppressing the constitution is making it. Can you see what I'm? Can you hear what I'm saying? Yes, hold on. But the African leaders, they are making the constitution as their will. It's not the constitution the way it is.
Can you listen to me?
Yes, I will listen to you.
If I send you, let's say you as an individual, you are a military.
Yes.
I send you to do evil.
Yes.
You go.
Yes.
The evil gets too much.
Yes.
You come back.
Yes.
You now say I sent you.
Yes.
You see, there's something called lawful order.
Yes.
What I'm telling you, all these problems you are seeing, they breed. Let's domesticate this into Nigeria. We don't want any military, anything. We suffered, we chase them away. We fought for democracy, and we said never again, so we don't want it. What we are saying, as it is today, this insecurity that's ravaging us, the police, the military, they need to do their job. I was on this table calling the police the other day that when there is a national chairman of a political party recognized by INEC, any other individual that declares himself a national chairman should be arrested, that that person is an impostor. When the police refuse to do that, when the army refuse to work, when they are failing their constitution. I will give you that.
Listen. You have to listen. No, you will listen. You have to listen. See, when you said the police, with the listen to Nigeria, the police refused to do that work. When our 38 worshippers were kidnapped in Kwara State, when 24 guests were kidnapped in Kebbi State, the government said they reached out to the bandits, and they repent and said they show cooperation. Is that their work? When they negotiate with bandits, is that the work?
You are missing the whole thing.
No, I'm not missing it.
I understand where it's coming from.
Yes.
Hold on.
Why do they do their work when the people enough to do allow them to do their work?
Philip, it's quite annoying that at every point we all have our constitutional responsibility.
Exactly.
The military, the police, and the federal government.
At any point. Now, it's not only to take over the government.
No, it's not only to take over the government. Now, this is it.
Yes.
There are other alternatives that we still have.
Yes.
Other that military still take over.
I agree.
Now, the real government is the people.
Yes.
Exactly. The real government is the people. The people themselves have not explored it enough. So we don't have a place or a spot.
No, that's
for the military to come in.
Sir, I asked a question. This result that was to be announced, now that military has taken over, are they going to go forward to announce it?
No.
Are they going to go forward for fresh election?
No, there's no suspension of the constitution. We don't want a suspension of the constitution.
You see, I agree with you. Like what we have in Nepal.
Thank you very much.
In Nepal, when the people when they're uprising,
that's in Nepal.
They now have what they call national, government, or what do you call it? They have, interim government. Instead of the military coming in, it's still being headed by civilians. I agree to that aspect. But when you said you domesticated it to Nigeria, especially Africa, we have people who killed, people who commit murder in attempt to kidnap church worshippers, God worshippers. And you said you negotiated with them. We didn't say they reached out to us. So what I am trying to, the point I'm making here is that the government, the commander is making it impossible for the police and the army to carry out their constitutional duty.
No, I don't agree with you. Let me tell you, hold on, let me tell you why I don't agree with you. The police, the soldier, the secret police, which is the DSS, have a responsibility. The president doesn't have to give them a marching order. They have a responsibility to protect Nigerians.
Exactly.
That's why they were commissioned into the Nigerian army.
Police is not a creation of an act. No, police is a creation of the Constitution.
I definitely agree with you.
So they don't need the president to tell them go in and bring the.
So what do you have
the
to say?
president now have to speak because there is a failure of the military.
That's right.
What do you have to say about the Inspector General of Police telling us that the
That's why we said that the Inspector General of Police is not doing what he needs to do. Listen, we are happy and glad that our president, former president, he's still a president. Goodluck Jonathan is out on is off arm's way. We'll be monitoring the story and we'll bring it back to you. Thank you.